All right. Once again, we are back Sunday night, 7:30 ish. This means another episode of Old Coops in the Man Cave. Hopefully, everybody had a good week, got through the end of the first semester safe and still standing. So, before we get started, I want to say what's up to the All State PG, All State coach. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man? Happy Sunday to y'all.
Hey, man. Same to you, man. Same to you.
Hey, man, one time for the orange and black. One time for the orange and black.
Okay.
Both of them. I'm talking about both of them. But
Yeah, yeah,
definitely, boy, it's one for the city and Lake Wells being the first one is special.
That's what's up. And both of them, bro, you on mute?
nah.
Okay. I ain't
I
hear.
didn't know how good Castle has been. 8 out of 9.
Yeah,
Hey, that enough.
8-1.
Goat, definitely goat.
Well, yeah, shout out to the Lakeland Dreadnoughts and Lake West Highlanders. Two very entertaining state championship games, but they was able to persevere and win. So, congrats to both of y'all. I know the fans are extremely happy. And we at Polk Hoops are very proud of y'all, all those young men, those coaches, and everybody involved. So, what's going on, Horace? Congrats, state championship, Dad. Well, your son, your baby getting him out. Coach Pruitt already with it, huh? Coach Benedict, don't look at the comments.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started, man, like we always do. Two mistake. I don't know if you got anything in your take, boss. If you do, you got it.
I got two quick ones. The first one is for you, Coach Billy D, and then the second one is for you, Coach Barnes. Billy D. It seems like in any of high school sports, just in Polk County, the successful coaches that we're seeing make it consistently with their programs are 15 years or better. Does that seem to be the case? And do you have to have longevity to have a powerhouse program as a coach?
Yes and no. Program, yes and no, because you could inherit one. For example, OCP, the cone, I think his name was Reggie Cone, the one started that, and then he passed it on to his assistant, which is keeping that legacy going. So that's one example of no, you don't have to have longevity, but he inherited and he's kept it going. Now he has his own legacy, but in most cases, especially here, um, in Polk County, most of those have been from those program type coaches. One that's come in, they demand that respect. They have changed the culture of that particular program. And it's a program. It starts probably all the way down in the little league, all the way up to high school. So it's it's a double edged sword, yes and no. Um, but that's my opinion on it.
So my other question is, what some schools who are known to be successful, be as successful, they still had the same coaches. You see a different trend. Not to name a particular school, but we've seen a lot of coaching changes go on. Will certain schools be more successful in basketball and football if they still had the same coaches?
I think because of the turnover changes is the reason why we've been inconsistent in all sports, especially in the major sports that we talk about here on the podcast, which is football and basketball. Because and one that comes to mind is like Lake Gibson in football and basketball. They had some really, really good teams. I think if they can stabilize somebody there as a coach, and help build it, they'll be on their way. And that's not the only program. It's other programs that are out there, but that's just the one that just came to my mind.
And my second question is to Polk Hoops. Will we see two Polk County teams at the White House this year?
You're on the spot, Coach. Yes or no?
Maybe. I think that we have 3 opportunities, and out of those 3, hopeful that we can get 2 in. I think 1 is pretty much a lock unless they just stop playing. The other 2 kind of got some opposition. So, but I think we have a shot. The 6A kind of scared me because Martin County in that region. I mean, you got the defending state champion in the region, and they got a lot of people back. We don't know what Lakeland gonna do. I guess we'll start to find out this week officially. And Bartow is getting better. Bartow don't have all their guys right now, so that's a possible. And then the other possible is Victory, but Victory in a tough region too. So I mean, so if you asking me right on the spot, I'm gonna say yeah because I'm very biased Polk County, but it ain't gonna be easy. One of them I think is pretty much a done deal. The other one gonna be some work. So I don't know if you or coach got a different take, but
no, I just asking. Just two more take. Just asking.
Because everybody done put the shoulder pads to the left and helmet to the right, so it's officially basketball season in Polk County everywhere. So that was a good one. That was a good one right off the top.
But what I have heard, that in Winter Haven region, they've played Plant City already, and we've seen that was a 10 or 11 point game. They say the Newsom team that's in that region is actually pretty good. So I'm curious on how good they really are. So, but I've heard it from several people, and I went and looked and seen some of the people that they played. That's probably going to be a tough matchup for them.
You know what I find interesting? We talked about this about the IMG game that Winter Haven played. Winter Haven played IMG Blue and only beat them by 2 points. Correct?
Right.
Okay, yeah. But that same IMG Blue is in the city of Palms.
Is it a blue? Is that the national team?
The blue team is in the city of Palms.
I mean, they're a top 10 team. I know one of the IMG teams was a top 10 team. So
yeah, I looked at the city of Palms and the IMG Blue was playing, and Winter Haven, that's the team Winter Haven beat.
So that's because Coach Jones, I don't know who is and who ain't, but that's what bro is saying is that the IMG Blue is in the city of Palm. So I guess we would think that would be their best team that is in the city of Palms, but could be wrong. We've been wrong before. But that's a good point though.
Yeah, IMG Blue got the win versus Westminster in the 8th game here at the city of Palms. And we looked at Winter Haven the other day. They played IMG Blue.
He said they playing in the state series games. So those are shootout games.
That's part of the city of Palms.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying it. You know, everybody gonna play in the bracket.
Yeah.
Bartow, you and Bartow are the only 2 other teams that ever played in the bracket pool, right?
Kathleen went in 97.
Oh, I never knew it.
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I think that's where they lost came at, was down there in the city of Palms.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna move on and what did you all's take on the first game of the week or the first game of the year? Sure to be more before the year's out. Rival Arvindale and Arvindale and Winter Haven this week. over in Winter Haven, and Winter Haven came out with the win 69-53. What's y'all thoughts on that, if any feedback?
I was very impressed with the guys, the four studs, to be able to play unselfish, and just see KJ be a part of the team, and those guys don't be defensive at him taking the shots that he's taking. Like, they trust in him and they look to find him too. But I was more impressed with JP and Salazar.
Okay.
Like, JP is such a hard kid. He's gonna be such a hard kid to defend all year because he's actually playing a lot more point than the other three, and that forces you to put a small guard, your guard on him because he's the point. And then when they see that, they immediately take him down to the post. Like, they don't hesitate with like that matchup. If a small guard is guarding him, once he's bringing the ball up, they're going straight to the post, and he's playing at a high level when they get him down
there. Okay, Coach, you got it.
It just lets me know that Winter Haven, there's still a gap there. You know what I'm saying? And we got them as the number one team. We got them as the number one team for a reason. I was thinking it was going to be a closer game because it's a rival game. I expected it to be under 10 points. But it lets me know that, they're going to come to play, game in and game out. And they have so many pieces that can score. It's going to make them tough, Coach. You know what I'm saying? When you have 4 to 6 people that can put up double digits, so if one of them have a bad game, but the other 3, have a decent game or a great game, they're still going to be okay. But I did like the way that Armandale responded by beating Gibbs on Saturday. So, that's shout out to Coach E with that one.
Well, they put on a Polk County clinic in the third quarter.
Yeah, definitely. Third quarter won it, but the second half was impressive.
Yeah, but the whole give the 3 points in the third quarter, they put on a defensive clinic.
That was good to see it. I know I saw with Davenport, the game after that, they gave up no points in the fourth quarter to Houston. So
I left with Houston's up like 8 or 9. Me and Billy walked out the gym
together. Yeah, they didn't give up no points in the fourth quarter. So that's too impressive. I mean, anytime you could stop somebody from scoring, that's pretty big deal. So, but now, what was you all's take on the fan participation? Good crowd, should have been wall to wall, was it pretty typical?
What game?
The Auburn Winter Haven game.
Oh, that was a great atmosphere.
Okay.
A Thursday night game like that, I mean, I don't know what the capacity of the gym is, but they 90% had the capacity on a Thursday night game. So that was definitely a good vibe. I just think that it's a struggle of marketing these games from the schools. Like, they don't put the games out there. Like, I think far as the public schools, they're still stuck in Stone Age. They put the schedule out, they just assume that the kids gonna come. Or the people are gonna come flooding in. When I think that they just don't utilize the power that they have with the social media. I mean, these games can be so much bigger with what these kids, all kids use their phones. I just feel like we lack that part of it. I talked about it last week. I think that if we get it out there, I mean, you'll be wall to wall flooded without the hesitation of looking like it's not what you expect.
Is it time for the athletic Polk? And I ain't trying to start nothing. The Polk County, I guess, athletic department to kind of jump in and help with the scheduling as far as certain games are going to be played on Friday or even Saturday, probably not Saturday, but on Friday, just to ensure that, because there's no way in the world, like you say, Auburndale Winter Haven should be on anything but Friday, in my opinion. And like Tyrell saying, if we hadn't said nothing about it, he wouldn't even know there was a game last week. So, and he go live and make sure the city can watch it. I watched it through. Shout out to Tyrell Luke TJ Network, because that's how I saw the game Thursday. So, is it time for you to step in? I mean, even coach, even that same night, I mean, the rivalry ain't there, but Bartow and Kathleen was scheduled Thursday night too. So how do we have two of the biggest rivalry games on a Thursday?
I don't think that's the issue, though.
I see you shaking your head, coach. So I'm gonna be quiet and let you jump in, tap in. But anyway. Go ahead. Go ahead, coach.
I'm saying I don't think that them playing each other on the same nights is the issue of that game. You're talking about 4 different cities. What Auburndale and Winter Haven bring as a culture has nothing to do with Lakeland and Bartow.
I wasn't taking away from. I'm saying the fact that both those games on a Thursday instead of on a Friday.
Oh, okay.
But you got to think, coach. They just played in the city of Palm yesterday against one of the top teams in California. There's no way you're gonna play Auburndale the night before, then drive down to Fort Myers and play one of the top teams in the nation. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't this game rescheduled though, coach? Was it originally scheduled for the 15th? I thought they rescheduled it.
They did reschedule it, but my thing is like I want to play that game Friday, knowing
not in front of City of Palm. I'm saying originally it wasn't supposed to be played Thursday night. I'm saying on a Friday period. I'm not saying loaded up with a back-to-back like that. I'm saying for the gist of a Friday game, not that specific.
I mean, what happened to the back-to-school Friday night rivalry? That used to be what the play would be. The day we come back from Christmas break, that first week, that Friday, that was
when we usually played Bartow when I was coaching.
That's the rivalry. That's when Lake Will play Bartow?
That's usually when we played Bartow.
Haven. That's when Lake.
We didn't even play rival games before Christmas.
Yeah,
the game was in January.
That's what I'm missing. That Tuesday and Friday supposed to be the lock-in games.
Yeah, after Christmas, like Coach said, so you play. I'm at Jenkins. We play Kathleen the first Friday of after the break, and we play them like the last Friday before district.
Mm-hmm.
And we ain't playing them before then. So that's what I'm saying to that point, like on a Friday. So if it's not even sitting there on a Thursday, it's wall to wall on a Friday. Because like you said, people got to get up and go to work on Friday. People ain't, some folks just, I'm going home and that's just it. Well, on Friday, I can go and I ain't got to worry about getting up and moving around on Saturday.
I agree with you that game should be played on Friday. The part I don't agree is that somebody's going to tell me when I shouldn't schedule. That's the part I don't agree with. I don't agree with the county AD is like, hey, you got to play this game on a Friday, or even my AD saying you got to play this game on a Friday. I just don't agree with that. I think the coaches should have autonomy over their schedule. That's all I believe in.
Well, Coach, you like Coach Outbo saying about folks not want to do the whole Friday. They don't get the part of it. But is that the deal, Coach? That because Hillsborough, I know just for one, Hillsborough County schedule their people. They don't necessarily have any input in it. They just get the schedule. That's what it is. Is that your thing that you want to schedule your game? So that's why you don't want the county to do it. Even if it's just they gonna make sure you play that on a Friday. You don't want nobody touching nothing you doing. We Polk County coaches, but it's just so terrible. Oh man, I don't know about touching my schedule like I want to. Boy, I tell you. At least you're honest though, Coach. You honest. So but that's my take. That's what would help it if we could do those. Like I say, even they just like you at Lake Wells, you're gonna play Bartow on Friday. Winter Haven Friday. I guess Haines City is a rivalry. Like back when you was coaching, Haines City was a rivalry. I don't know if it is now. Mm-hmm. So them 3 games, so that's them 6 of your Fridays. However you want to work it out. I'm just telling you to schedule it on Friday. I ain't saying I'm gonna plug in the Friday, but make sure them games. Fridays and the rest of your schedule, you do whatever you want to do with it. I just think it's some logic to that we probably ain't ready for it in Polk County because that's just us in Polk County, you know. So, all right. So I got a question. I saw this on Twitter like last week, but we ran out of time, so I put it this week, and it kind of go in line with I guess, bro, your original your tune was tape. We talk about head coaches like all the time. You know, we rank them, we talk good about them, talk bad about them, but what does it take to be? Is it required? What does it take to be a great assistant coach? How important are the assistant coaches? Because I don't know if that's discussed or highlighted, appreciated, or taken into consideration when the team is successful. You know, the head coach get all the credit and all the blame, but how important are because it's different takes in Polk County on how people feel about assistants just by who they put on their sideline on their bench. So what's y'all and both of y'all have been assistants. I've been an assistant, so we all have sat in the second chair, I guess per se. You sat in the first chair too, but what's y'all take on that?
Me and Billy D talked about this. Interesting, you brought that up because me and Billy D was talking about that just last night while we were sitting watching games and looking at why some coaches fail to be successful because they don't have great assistants. And I think that's one of the key points. You got to have some guys that are not, yes, sir. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, coach. Yeah, coach. Be able to tell you wrong. You know?
I think it's huge, coach. I mean, it's a commitment also, you know what I'm saying? Because we watched the team, yesterday it was only the head coach on the bench.
Yeah.
He didn't have any assistants. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, your program, your success is as good as the people around you. You know what I'm saying? I had great assistants. McGriff had great assistants. You know what I'm saying? I have been a great assistant for others. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where the success of your program comes in at because everybody plays a role, everybody knows their role, and everybody contributes. Like everybody knows Coach Hayes is my uncle, but everybody thought that, we got along and we did, everything, the same way, but we actually didn't. We saw things differently all the time. And we used to get into, our little back and forth. But in the end, we did what was best for the team. So, you gotta have other sets of eyes on that bench. You gotta have people that's gonna be committed, to be there all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you fall sick, or what if something happens? You got a tragedy happen in your life. So who's gonna be there to take over if your people are not committed? You gotta be there. You gotta be consistent, and you gotta contribute while you're there. You can't be a yes man. Can't be a yes man. Whether the head coach job is just to listen. Like me being an assistant right now, only thing I want to tell Coach Johnny is like, hey, this is what I see. What you do with that information, that's the reason why you're the head coach. You don't have to do what I say. That's why they pay you all the big bucks. That's why you in the newspaper. But I'm gonna tell you what I see. But having great assistants, most of the great programs have great assistants, period.
So how far can you go without that?
I don't think you can, coach. Like who has? Give me an example that has went without that.
That's what I'm like. I don't know that I can.
Another question: who has went far enough without it?
That's what I just asked. Like
I don't know that I can answer that. Like I'm sure. Well, I'm not even say I'm sure, but I don't even know. I don't know if that's possible. Like I don't know. If sometimes people.
A great head coach knows he can't have a great team without great assistants. They'll be willing to say that. You know what I'm saying? And not just willing to just having guys on the sideline. If I tell you that this kid is varsity potential and you're not seeing what I'm seeing, you got to trust in my instinct of what I've been working with for the past 3 or 4 months. You can't tell me a kid is not varsity potential when I've been working with them as your assistant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've seen things you haven't seen, just like calling the right plays at the time or making that adjustment to say, hey, I'm watching the game. You standing up yelling at referees the whole entire time. I'm watching the game and realizing that this kid here can't go left. But I scouted this kid for you, so I don't think you can be successful without it.
It's just like the two state champs in football. I mean, they got great head coaches, but we also know that they have great position coaches.
Great position coaches. Great.
And
Yeah.
that
Lakeland, much as people don't give them the credit, they got a great staff. I mean, I'm sure Lake Wells has it. That's your side of neck of the woods, BD. But to see what Lakeland keeps in year in, year out, you got to respect it.
For Lake Wells, this is arguably the best staff that he's had since he's been there. You know what I'm saying? And I think I don't think they played a big part of the success of this team here. And it was building up, to it. So, I'm all in when it comes to, assistants. Like everybody I knew that was successful had great assistants. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting up here trying to think of somebody that tried to do it by themselves, and I can't. I really can't.
you can't do it. And I think Bruh made a great point. Great head coaches know that they need help. Great coaches know they can't do it by themselves. I don't care how great they are, you still need some help, and they willing to accept the help.
Mm-hmm.
And what?
Great question. Like, what are coaches these days afraid of others getting credit when we know that the main head coach is going to pretty much get all the credit? Like, no matter how good of an assistant coach you are, or you still gonna get the credit and the blame. So why are you afraid to have that guy that can tell you no or tell you wrong for what you're doing?
I don't understand it, Coach.
And we know, I mean, this is around here in the county. We see it so much. And we've been asking for years how these guys don't have assistant coaches, former players. It's just, I don't get it. I really don't.
Like Mike said, it's ego. Some people, I'm not gonna lie to you. Some people have some people on their bench that don't have their best interests at heart. They actually got their job in mind. You know what I'm saying? But you got to do better with selecting the people that's on your bench. But the thing is, if the team wins, everybody wins.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the head coach gonna get the interviews and everything. But like, who cares? That's you're preaching team to the kids, so why not preach team amongst the coaching staff?
So is that part of the reason that we are not as dominant? Because I think now you can really say that we have probably the best talent, if not the best talent, the top two in the state coming from this county. Are we lacking the total package of great coaching? For say, like the head coach might be strong, and then he'll have the assistants. You might have a good core of assistants, but you have a lack of knowledge from the head coach. What is it? What is missing? Because what I see that goes down in Broward County, we don't see up here, and that's we got the same talent. It ain't like they got better talent than us, but they coaching staff that they have down there, they're Bartow at every level when they come up here. It's not just one team. Like you might see Bartow with 9 coaches or 11 coaches. In Broward County, when they come up, you got 11 coaches on every team.
So is that more about McGriff's ability to not check his ego? I guess I don't know if ego is the right thing. I go with what Mike said, or is it just not 11 people?
I think he was caught on from the beginning that in order for him to be successful, he had to bring in guys that were part of the community, that were diehard Bartow, number one, and that will respect him for what he knows about the game, number two, because that's the strong will. Like he gives each guy a different assignment to make them a strength. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that comes with next level coaching. Like if I got 8 guys on the bench and they just jackaroo all like they big dog and they not bringing a value to the team. I mean, we can go right and ask these guys, what do you do? What do you do as a coach? What do you do as an assistant coach? If they're not, I'm working with the strength. I'm working with this. I think that's what McGriff has in line. He has someone doing something. I'm the food nutrition coach. He just has something laid out for every guy that you're not just on the bench and not doing nothing. You're part of this program. You're making this program better. Whether you've got the meals prep ready or whatever, you're doing something that next level coaching does. Everybody else missing that. At least you don't see it.
Okay. Well, I just figured I would ask that because that don't come up as much as the head coach. Don't come up as much as the people behind it or beside her. If it's a female coach. So, all right. So we're gonna move on and go with our girls' top 5 for the week. That was number 5 is Jenkins. Number 4 is Discovery. Number 3 is Jordan Christian Prep. Number 2 is Avon Park. And number 1 is Winter Haven. So 1, Winter Haven. 2, Avon Park.
Yeah, I saw it.
4, Discovery. 5, Jenkins.
Man, because it was a solid week by all of those teams. Nothing happened where we could, mix up that lineup a little bit. I think everybody did what they supposed to do. That's why it remained the same.
Okay. All right. Well, we will keep pressing on, and we're going to look at the prime time or talk about the prime time performers from last week as far as the young men.
Only thing I know is LJ put up 45.
Well, before we y'all want to talk about that, the prime time performers first, or you want to talk about the new top 10 first?
No, go ahead, because you said performers, so I just know LJ put up 45.
All right, so we're gonna just run down the 9 and then we'll talk about a couple specifically. So first, Jeremy Russell from Kathleen had 26 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals versus Ridge. Dwayne Lattimore from Lake Region, 17 points, 17 rebounds versus Avon Park. Second week, Loriana Castanon Cruz from Mulberry had 36 points, 5 steals and 4 assists. Zay Mosley from Jordan Christian Prep, 22 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists in one game, and 16 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists against Jenkins. Wade Reyes from Jordan Christian Prep had 27 points and 5 rebounds against Jenkins.
They send in their stats?
Yeah, they send the stats. Ryan Scream Fort Meade had 19 points, 3 assists against Avon Park. LJ Kaysen, and I do them from like the day of the week that they do them, not like a rank or anything. LJ Kaysen from Victory, 45 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 charges taken against Brooks DeBarlow. Was 15 for 24 from the field and 14 for 14 from the free throw line. Khalif Valentine from Bartow, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 6 steals against Kathleen. Jason Williams from Bartow, 16 points, 22 rebounds against Jesuit. And Isaac Salazar from Winter Haven yesterday, 18 points, 5 rebounds in the city of Palms against Centennial, California. So I guess the obvious first topic is LJ Kaysen, 45 points in regulation, not not extra time, 45 points in 32 minutes. And then the efficiency, 15 for 24 from the field and 14 for 14 from the free throw line. I'm like, James Harden type number in his prime.
Coach has scored 98 points in 32 minutes. That's crazy. So
Now, the defensive coach that y'all are, first thing y'all going to say is, okay, we scored 98, but we gave up 90. But
yes, yeah, of course.
Not if you win, but yeah, they gave up 90, but they you scored more than them. That's the goal. It's a score.
That is the goal.
So, but go ahead, Coach. My bad.
I'm just saying, since you brought that up, Coach, I don't know. I can't live with myself giving up 90 points. That's just me. It's something that they gotta fix. But you know that kid is special, man. You know, when it's time for him to turn it on, he knows when to now. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, that team is improving. He's learning to trust his teammates. And I think he's figuring out now, like, hey, when it's time for me to put y'all on my back, I'm gonna carry y'all to the promised land. And that's what that kid is doing. If he can do that when it's necessary, but also instill confidence into his fellow teammates, they're gonna have a chance. They're gonna have a chance. Their chances are better if they play that way. They still gave up 90 points, though. Go.
Look at the screen after you said they're gonna have a chance.
They have a chance. I mean, you still gotta play the game.
I knew you were gonna do that, man. Them people had a shot last year, man. They just didn't have enough bullets in the chamber, man. But they got a few more bullets now. So, I mean, they got Lanier kid and Dino a year older. I mean, they got some of them young guys.
They gotta go play OCP, man. OCP should be a 7A team. I'm tired of seeing OCP playing 2A. They ain't fair.
So you say no matter what they do, it don't matter.
But they got a tough hill to climb, boy.
OCP done been in the state tournament how many years?
When have they not?
It's exactly.
I think the last time is the coach after Cone. I think for those like 2 years that he was coaching, they did not win it. And then the assistant under Cone, when he first got it, I think they were runner up. But I think they don't won it like every year since then. It's like 5 or 6 in a row with him.
So
I don't. Can he ever win a state championship at Victor? Yeah, it's possible if the regions get mixed up because he's one of the top coaches in the county. I mean,
I agree with that.
Coach Fitzgerald can coach. I like his style of what he does over there. I just think that why is Victor even a 2A school? First of all, I thought Victor should be like a 1A smaller school. Like
only 1A schools are those urban schools like Wildwood, Madison County. So all Christian schools start at 2A.
Okay. See, I don't know that. That's why I don't know. That's just a tough one to be OCP. I think, see me personally, I think that the top 4 teams should go into the regions. I think there's so much change going on in all these sports, bro. I thought that basketball should have did. They shouldn't do what football did because that's whack. Clearly, not the right thing for me. I think that to break up the 4 and 4, whatever they did. But I think that we should go to a top 4 and move the regions out like that. So if you finish in the top 4, I think you should get a number 1 seed.
Like the tournament.
Yeah, like the real tournament. So then that helps. That helps every team that has worked hard get out of their region and actually go play against other teams, and we would see probably have a better tournament because that would help the Polk County situation. That would help sales because you might end up with 2 or 3 Polk County teams every year. But for the fact that they got to play each other, you're taking away from what it is. And it ain't fair that Orlando gets to do it. Orlando's the only city that actually gets to have a split up of regions in that 7A. And I don't think nobody's complained about that. Like, we never talked about how unfair that is to everybody else. that Orlando, like Oak Ridge and Dr. Phillips and all them, could go separate directions and be in a totally different region, and then be right at the Civic Center. But you stick all the Polk teams in the same one.
I love the idea of like you've seen them like the tournament. Um, Coach, why would that not ever happen though? Because it just seemed like it makes sense. You get 4 regions, 16 teams or 20 teams or whatever, and just
They're gonna complain about money and travel for one. Most of those games are played, during the week. So say, um, like Marathon used to make the tournament back in the day from Key West, and remember, the state was all the way up in Tallahassee. So maybe if I'm Marathon and I got to go to the Panhandle and play somebody, like when do that's what the argument is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Is travel and money for those schools. But I agree with you. Even when we came through, um, we went to two different regions. Because I know my senior year we played when Kathleen went to the Final Four. We could have made the Final Four also, but we lost in the regional final against Gibbons. So even if you don't throw them, into the regions that are far away, maybe just put them in the other region, the two regions that are close to each other. You just see those teams, some kind of parity though, some type of parity.
Yeah, it don't work out in certain schools' favor with how dominant of the programs that like an OCP is. But I mean, Victory can turn into that because Victory can enroll different kids. So I can't say he won't never win it because you never know. You might get a whole core group of fire kids that all go to Victory, along with two or three other transfers. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
For Victory to beat OCP, they got to play a perfect game. Or if I was them, I'd start looking at I-20s and start getting kids from overseas. Personally,
and that don't cost the school nothing, right? It's
no,
just the paperwork.
just the paperwork. Got to find a host family, things of that nature. It's tough for Victory to compete. OCP is just on another level, and I agree with Toomer. Like they're sitting at 2A because of their enrollment. You know what I'm saying? So, but any given day somebody can get beat, but that's a tough hill to climb. But I agree with Toomer. Coach Fitz is doing a great job over there. But he's not consistently getting in. No height or anything like that. He got great guard play, but he's not consistently getting big. OCP keep somebody that's long. You know what I'm saying? So it's just an unfair advantage for them and the players that they get in.
Makes sense. Okay. Good topic. Good topic. So, all right. So now we go on to the boys' top 10 for the week. The week coming up. So, at number 10, we got Lake Region 7-2, 9 Davenport 6-2, 8 Bartow 6-4, 7 Sebring 7-2, 6 Jordan Christian Prep 8-2, 5 Santa Fe 7-2, 4 Auburndale 8-1, 3 Victory 7-0, 2 Lakeland 1-0, and 1 Winter Haven 7-1. Thoughts, feedback,
I know
conversation.
one thing. Winter Haven can go 0-4, and us they still number one. The game over there, they still number one. I think it's good. Glad to see Lake Region instead of winning. One guy had a bounty out on me.
You turn the screen off.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be trash.
Yeah, man. Is Sebring the surprise of the season so far?
I don't think they a surprise, coach, but they started out with like some personnel issues. For one, they didn't have their football players because their football team was in the playoffs. And two, I heard it was like some type of incident where I guess some kids got suspended or something. I don't know the details on it, so they kind of stumbled, out the gate. But I think they came back strong with a couple wins against Jenkins. They had one against Bartow, which going to Bartow, and I think it was at Bartow, right?
Yeah.
Going into Bartow and beating them, I think was impressive. So Coach Princeton is doing a great job down there. They don't always play hard, but he's doing a great job.
And man, we want to give a quick special shout out to Fort Meade, man. When the last time Fort Meade 4-3 right now, man. When the last time Fort Meade won more than like 2 games in basketball? Like they down there competing, coach. Like they winning some games and they competing in other games. So
Yeah, man, they got something going down there, and then they got a little pep band going during the game.
yeah, man,
It's the atmosphere down there, coach.
it's down there at Fort Meade, man. Got to make a trip down there to the look at. Hey man, I knew it was coming, man. I saw the
You gonna get the inbox after the game.
message spread. Yeah, man. I probably got an inbox right now, man. Hey, shout out to Fort Meade, man. Got the atmosphere going down there, man. Got the student section having a good time and winning and competing, man, and winning and beating people. That little gym, man. You get caught slipping that little gym, man, and it can get rough down there, man. But we just want to say shout out to the Miners, man. I don't know have we ever discussed Fort Meade on the show, man, before today. We gotta give people their flowers, man, when they earn them, when they can smell them, man. So shout out to Fort Meade Nation, man. So oh man, so we'll post the whole 25 as we always do tomorrow, 11 through 25. But we just do the top 10 here on the show. So once again, we got Winter Haven 1, Lakeland 2, Victory 3, Auburndale 4, Santa Fe 5, Georgia Christian Prep 6, Sebring 7, Bartow 8, Davenport 9, Lake Region 10. So we moved Winter Haven ahead of not Winter Haven. We moved Victory ahead of Auburndale after the loss, and we kind of dropped Bartow down a couple spots after they had 2 losses this week actually. One home against Sebring, which we think was a surprise, and then they went over to Jesuit on Friday. Tough environment, and they lost a close one. So, and I saw a post, and it probably I don't know if it'll shake people the wrong way. I saw it on Twitter, so I'm not making this up. It's out. Once you put it on social media, everybody can see it. It was essentially said it was some faction of Bartow. It wasn't the Bartow basketball Twitter page, but it was somebody one of the Bartow pages associated with Bartow. It said essentially we lost a close one tonight, but at Bartow we don't schedule for wins. We schedule to get ready or get ready for the playoffs or get ready for the postseason, something like that. So I'm like, when I saw that, oh boy, people see that they're gonna might take that a certain way. But what's y'all take on that tweet?
I agree with it. McGriff always been that way, and his schedule is always usually top heavy too. So he scheduled a tough out of county top heavy schedule. And yes, sometimes he struggled coming out the gate, but he is better for that in February. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to play McGriff in February. McGriff has that team that you saw in November, December is a totally different team when it comes in February. Now, scheduling for wins. Now, we going to say that top 25, boy, some of y'all playing, some people y'all don't supposed to be playing to get wins. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
That was going to be my next thing, Coach. It was a lob lead-in. Are we adequately preparing ourselves? Because the question that bro asked me on the show, can we get 2 people in the White House? Are we adequately preparing ourselves for that possibility? Because our strength of schedule is not going to be as high. But I remember a couple of years ago, no disrespect to the people, but I mean, it happened. Hardy was like 20-5.
Mm-hmm.
and then get in.
Mm-hmm.
And Lake Gibson was like 15-12 and got in, and it was off of the strength of schedule. So Hardy had a great record at 20-win season and didn't make the playoffs. So have we fell off? When we talk about people won't schedule people, but then the people that end up getting scheduled, have we fell off with our scheduling? Because it don't seem like we lining folks up kind of like we used to. Am I off on that or missing that? Like you just said, Coach, some of the people that we playing is definitely not going to do a thing for our strength of schedule. It's going to look great in the record column, but some people don't care what your record is when they they saying who going to the playoffs.
Coach, man, some of these people playing team in programs I never heard of, and beating them people by like 60 and 70. Like, how is that going to help you? Like, how is that going to help you? It's not going to help you.
Schools out there. Seriously, we got a whole bunch of new schools out there.
You know, so of course, it's going to make your wins, look like you're doing something, but when it don't prepare you for the playoffs, then you end up losing in the district to somebody you don't supposed to lose to because your kids are not battle tested. They didn't play enough tough games. I thought it was important for us when we scheduled that we schedule tough road games. People like, why you don't have that many home games? Because I know when I get in the playoffs, I'm gonna have to win a tough game on the road. I want them in the worst environment possible. I want to go somewhere where their student section is rocking or their fans are rough and you can't hear anything. And we got to try to communicate through it and fight through tough situations. But, I just don't get the feeling that all coaches, here in the county are trying to do that. Like it's some programs that they're playing against, they shouldn't be playing against. It's just crazy to me.
PG, anything on that?
No, how these schools, man. They just, I don't got no comments.
Okay. All right. Well, the last thing we normally do like games, of the week or whatever. But since school is out, this is traditionally the first week of Christmas tournaments. So you have Christmas tournaments before Christmas and then after Christmas. Now we're just going to kind of spotlight a couple, but we're spotlighting what we know because, as we know, everybody either A does not choose to play in a Christmas tournament, or B, they won't post it, so we have no way of knowing if they do. Okay, so either one of those scenarios, and I'm going to call a couple that I know that teams will be playing tomorrow. And if I miss any, y'all be sure to, kind of correct me and let me know. Coach, I know, first of all, y'all, the girls, when even on the girls team, I know is playing right now, going to play. Y'all are in South Carolina, right?
Yeah, I'm in Myrtle Beach right now. We play Model Lakes Academy out of Miami tomorrow at 3:00.
Okay. So you get to go to the beach to play a team from down south instead of going down south. So
exactly.
That's a perk. Look at God. Hey, black folks say, hey, look at God. So on the boys' side, I know tomorrow Santa Fe got a big game. They're in the Clash at the Cross, 6:00 tomorrow. They play Lake Highland Prep. So that's Santa Fe ain't running from nobody. Tomorrow, Jordan Christian Prep is in the McIntosh County Invitational. They play at 10:30 in the morning. I didn't get who they play, but they play tomorrow. Sebring actually just has a game tomorrow. They play at home, and Lake Placid has a game. Haines City is in the tournament Tuesday. Marbury is in the River Ridge tournament. Lakeland, the Lakeland gets the Lakeland's train gets going, I guess. Tuesday they play in the Daytona Beach Mainland tournament. McKeel is in the Rum on the Ridge. Davenport's in Vero Beach. And Coach, that's all that you can really see. Broswood High School plays Jordan Christian Prep tomorrow at the McIntosh County Invitational. So once again, we say this so people can hear it, because people hear what they. Hold on. We can only report Yep, and Armadale is in the battle on the island, starting. What is it tomorrow? Armadale plays Columbia in the battle on the island. They got some good teams in that tournament. I think that's up in the Jacksonville area. Fleming Island, Lake Minneola, Jackson, Martin County up there. That's good. That's Gainesville and Miami Southridge. That's a good tournament. Coach Hagan, I'm assuming that the football players are playing for Lakeland. I haven't heard anything.
No, he's asking if they're gonna play Tuesday. That would be.
They playing Tuesday. They play Tuesday. So you're saying they're not gonna play Tuesday?
No, that's what he's asking. Are they gonna play? You know, like they coming straight out of football and suit up and play Tuesday. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Coach, so what's the rule on that, Coach?
Football players, right?
There's no rule. They can play right away because
when I say rule, not what's the rule. Like what is the rule? The internal rule. Football just ended on Friday. You play Tuesday. You got to play them, right?
I gave my kids an option. I gave them a week, to kind of get their bodies, together.
Scott, you do the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't ask them to come out there right away. If they wanted to come right away, they could, but I gave them a week.
Scott used to beg you to take that week off, right? And my freshman year, I decided not to. And boy, that was the worst mistake ever. I can't stand the words, bro, because that conditioning was totally different.
Yeah. I used to give my kids a week. So
but in Lakeland situation, they can't, right? Because they bus Tuesday, and that's the whole team. So they gotta play. Unless he's gonna go back when he went with Lake Red Regent. I don't think he's trying to do that.
No, they're gonna play. Hagan, I think they're gonna play. But listen, hey, but as soon as I decide to go out there, we had to run them suicide, right? I went back and asked, can I take the rest of the week off?
Right now you out here now, huh?
Boy, that was no. I'm like, I couldn't take the rest of that week off. Like, what was I thinking?
And let's talk for a second. Winter Haven played tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. City Park is North Laurel, Kentucky. Man, let's talk. I mean, we can. Y'all don't want to. We don't have to. Winter Haven went to City Palms. And the Centennial people, the number 2 seed in the tournament. I read, and I posted the highlights, a couple of the highlights on the page earlier. Winter Haven, like they was right there, Coach.
They was out 1 quarter to go.
They was right there.
Yeah, they took the lead in the fourth quarter. So,
oh man.
But my thing was, and my question is to you guys: do y'all believe in more victories?
Nah, man. You don't win.
Horseshoes and what's the thing, jacks? What they used to call thing, jacks, when you put the thing on the ground and you
the ball.
Yeah, and them two. But no, ain't no more victories. We line up. We both.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, and people, y'all know, most people know that I'm a Duke fan, so I didn't realize that's who they was playing. They got a kid that's going to Duke, and he tough. I just don't think that Winter Haven had anybody that could stay in front of him. But how many guards are they gonna play like that to that level? But they struggle to stop him. But like, who ain't gonna struggle to stop him? First of all, and how many y'all gonna play that's gonna look like him? That's just a great early test. Like we just talked about, Coach, like early season, big time road scheduling, tough on the road. How you can't schedule much tougher than a team like that in the City of Palms.
Because I'm doing what I can to get the ball out of his hand. Somebody else gotta beat me.
I saw you sitting there waiting, like I don't hear
somebody else gotta beat me, Coach. Like I'm denying him.
I get you gotta be creative on defense. You gotta do some other stuff that they was doing. You gotta.
I'm guarding him when he at the scores table about to come in, Coach. Like I got somebody on him everywhere.
I had 29. Yeah, he ain't have 45 like LJ did.
But 29, that's almost half their points. They only scored 60 some points.
Man.
So what's more impressive, bro?
LJ,
What's more impressive? His 29 City of Palms, that stage, or LJ 45 against Bristol Barlow?
oh, shit up on. He a dookie.
Okay. I'm just
Yeah, that ain't even a
But again, somebody else gotta kill me though.
What's that?
I'm not gonna let him do it. Somebody else gotta kill me.
I don't even know the team who Victor plays, so I can't even say before. Who was that?
That's Darius Brooks, charter school over there in Tampa.
Yeah, exactly. That's a charter school, man. They ain't got. We ain't talking about them yet. No, I mean it could have been Spates. It could have been my boy Spates' team. I'd be like, who was that? Just
yeah. 29 in City Palm. That's
impressive.
That's impressive. Just like Isaac 18 in City Palm impressive. Isaac had 18 strong, 18-5. So
hey, he showed what he going to do. Just like the year that Bartow had to go down there and they played Tatum. You see the difference of the type of player. I mean, so they go to more victory. For the guy that was on that floor that thought they was prime time, they get to wake up and realize why this kid going. That one move I saw how he got the basket showed me he's big time.
One move, that's all it took.
You can just see the player. Like if you watch some of them,
the energy, yeah, the vibe, yeah.
Certain highlights of kids when they be showing them, it can show you how they can change the game. So I get where Billy D coming from with like getting the ball in somebody else's hand, but sometimes, bro, when a person's ball dominant, it's hard to stop that type of kid that's ball dominant, like LJ.
That's right. Because I'm sending a double team at him, I'm doing something to try to disrupt
a team that you know is ranked number in the top 15 in the country, Billy D.
Coach, I'm doing something. I'm doing something to take them out their element. I got to do something to disrupt it.
I think I just don't believe that Winter Haven has a solid, true guard. Like if they had that, it would be scary. Like a pure point guard, like someone who ain't got to score 15 that can just dominate the game on both ends of the floor with leadership. I don't know if we even got that in the county. Do we even have that in the county? Like a true point. Billy, you know we watched them games yesterday. That's the first thing we kept saying. What kid can just control the game? I didn't even see kids doing press breaks, get the ball, wave their teammates away from any double teams or anything. So I don't know, bro. I just think that's what we missing. Like those days of having that. Walt was the only legit one that we've seen like at the point guard.
I was thinking Walt, but besides Walt, I don't know if we've had it in that time period that you mentioned. So I just wanted to make sure we don't just gloss over that. That was, I mean, and like you said, we don't take no moral losses, coach. So we lost. So we went down there and competed.
The problem is, bro. I think Winter Haven problem is because Winter Haven is very good. Winter Haven is very good, and I think that if they get the right lineup in there, I would say that someone come up that bench can bring a lot more value than everybody that they have on the floor. It's like watching Dennis Rodman with Jordan and Pippen them. He had one assignment. You know what I'm saying? I think Winter Haven has two kids off of that bench that can defend at a different level that should be starting. One of those kids should be starting.
So the thing that you think is limiting Winter Haven is the lineup.
Yeah, one player. One player has to be on that floor to start with that group, that core group that can really get out there and guard and do that. Have that type of assignment. That Patrick Beverly without being the butthole.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
But I think what Winter Haven needs while they're down there, playing against those type of teams, you're on the biggest stage that there is. It's nothing bigger than the City of Palms than at the end when you're playing in the Geico National Championship. Is that people have taken notice that you're taking these teams to the wire, but they're gonna have to find a way to win. And it's important because not only are they playing those type of teams, but the team that we predict them to face in the state championship is down there also. So
Did they win?
I didn't check on Columbus, but I think they had a bye in the bracket play. They had a bye.
So yeah, no more victories. You play the game to win it. But I mean, they definitely competed.
Got 2 buys. They win 1 game. They had a championship, huh, Hagen?
Now the way the City Paul set up, Coach, now I think it's changed from what I remember. Is it 1 loss and you automatically drop to the consolation, or you it's like double elimination? So when they win, they can play themselves back up.
They can't play themselves back in the championship bracket, but they can win. Now they're in the consolation. They can win the consolation bracket, but even then, with losses in the consolation brackets, they still match up with pretty good ranked teams. I know we went 3-2 while we was down there, and we played the number 2, the number 4, the number 25, and the number 35 team in the nation. So they'll still get great competition, even with that loss.
All right. Well, so yeah, just before we, bottle up, I think this is a lot more team. I don't know if it's teams waiting because it's a lot more team playing on after Christmas break than this week. So I guess, like you said, to each his own. But we did kind of talk about the teams that have either sent us their stuff or they posted their stuff. Like I say all the time, we don't mind going like on Max Preps and looking for the stuff, or even on your page to a point to look at your stuff if you got a page. But if it's just like nothing out there, it's not much for us to write down and post and talk about. And I just know the fans they need to be heavy in the inbox about, we sizing y'all team and we showing favoritism. If it ain't from Lakeland, they showing favoritism. And like I respond to somebody, maybe one person from Lakeland, quote unquote, but still that's sometimes the narrative. So y'all send your stuff and we'll be happy to post it as we have been doing. That's what we're here to do. So that's what. So I guess we won't do it's hard to pick games when you don't know who people playing. So I guess we won't pick games till we come back.
Columbus play tomorrow at 7:00.
7:00 prime time. Okay. So I saw where Hagen say that they held Centennial had a 6'10" kid that went able to held to 4 points. So is that a
man?
Brian even asked the question, man. I ain't even. Can I ask a question for you black listener?
Go ahead.
I know I'm going to get it anyway, but can I at least get the words out? It's like, bro, we done been around each other so much. You already know where I'm going. And Billy D do too, but I just cut the screen off. So they held the big 6'10" kid from Centennial to 4 points. Is that a good kind of preparation for Big Boozer?
Coach. Boozer the number 7 player in the nation, Coach. That kid ain't the number 7 player in the nation. Come on, man. But the thing is, man, Dylan has played against top kids, so he's gonna welcome the challenge for sure.
Oh man,
that's no comparison though. That's definitely
Dylan on Bougie.
Do what now?
You gotta put Dylan on Bougie.
Who else you gonna put on him?
Shit, that was all son.
Mm.
You gonna go to 6'9" guy they got.
So like about to go here, right?
I don't know. That's why they pay Coach Woodside all the big bucks. So you gonna have to
figure out who will play. Okay, so let's say
what about the other Boozer twin? Who gonna play him?
Dylan on. That's my.
That's the whole matchup problem that I've been waiting for.
So
Dylan 6'5" point guard.
Dylan get Boozer, Big Boozer. Isaac get the other 6'9" kid, And so you still got Boozer, little Boozer.
Coach, they got the other kid on there that can
And
shoot.
then they got 6'5" PG, right? So at some point, JP got to guard somebody. Matt, if they're gonna start him, and KJ, that could be problematic, right? So if it's you, do you just throw a bunch of different zones at him, or you still like we Polk County, we got a line of them playing man to man?
I'm 1-3-1 all game.
No, man.
I always know about
1-3-1 gets that one kid can shoot the lights out the ball.
because
he shoot lights out.
What you do, you take off your I refuse to play zone hat because you just die hard man. That's what you grew. That's your whole ingrained in your DNA. Take that out the hat, and maybe you can do it and still do it. If they just, is there no scenario to play one? I mean, what would be the better defense, man to man or 1-3-1?
I would switch it up. I would play more so. I would play man. I would definitely play man, but I would play a matchup zone. Also, so you're not, leaving shooters open. You know what I'm saying? You can play man with the person in your area, keep your man principles, and you just match up with the person, but it's still a zone. You're not chasing people. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to have to throw different looks at them and try to keep them off guard because if they get too comfortable, I think, they can pick you apart once they figure out what you're doing. I think playing multiple defenses and switching defenses and trying to keep them confused will be, helpful for Winter Haven.
So look, I just got a line up the starting five for Columbia. Bouge at 6'8", obviously the number one player in the state. You got the other Bouge at 6'3". You got a 6'11". You got a 6'8" that's ranked number 19 in Florida, and you got a 6'3" shooter. Bro, they starting five ain't starting five is size. So you gonna put who on the 6'11" again?
Man.
Dylan guard Bougie, and then who's gonna guard the 6'11"? You gonna let the 6'11" go down low and get guarded by Salazar then? Because Bougier's gonna play outside. So whatever Dylan does, he's gonna have to go out there and guard him out there because he can shoot it and he can take it off the dribble.
No, I think you got to try to save Dylan, especially at first.
Oh God,
foul trouble. Because if Dylan getting in foul trouble, boy, that changes the dynamics of the whole situation.
So who guards Bouger, the younger Bouger? Because you got.
I mean, right now you got to put Isaac on him. I will put Isaac on him, or maybe one of the.
I think Phillips can guard the 6'8". I definitely feel that way. I think KJ should guard the other 6'3".
They got some kids coming off the bench. They're gonna give up size, but they'll play Boozer tough. They'll make him work for it, but he can shoot over him. I mean, you're gonna have to switch it up and just try to find something that's gonna work.
Yeah, I don't know. And if man been working for you, it's almost like if I start doing something different, am I giving them too much credit?
The ability talking about he'll play man like this team that Winter Haven got has man to man written all over them, bro. Come on, man. This ain't no man to man team. So when I say zone, come on, you gotta talk real ability. Seriously.
But you said 1-3-1, Tuma. All you gotta do is just move the basketball. You giving up shots.
2-3. Hey, I can't guard them guys.
Understood. That's why I say a matchup zone, like a 1-2-2 or 3-2 type zone, will be better for them. That's all I'm saying.
I get that.
I agree with you with the zone look. It just make sure that they have the right zone for it. Because some zone gives up shots, and I know that one kid can really shoot the basketball, and you already got to deal with the Boozer twins and the other big kid, and you got somebody out there shooting lights out. You're gonna have to pick your poison.
Sound better than say man to man, because man to man ain't gonna be foul trouble.
Would you press them? They so big they just throw the press, right?
Yeah, I don't see this Winter Haven team as disciplined speed wise to play press types of defenses, so it have to be zone.
I mean, that's not what they do. So don't get out of what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like live and die with who you are. You're not a pressing team, then don't go out there and try to do something different.
That rotation, that man to man, and guarding certain people, certain teams that's not able to do it against solid, high power 5 players.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
This like the team I saw last year as freshmen didn't make a lot of mistakes against a 3 power. They had 3 or 4 power 5s on that team, right? Dr. Phillips had three legit, Kansas and 2 Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't make mistakes, bro. Now you add them to 6'11" to go with that 6'8".
So you finna turn your screen off again?
Hmm.
Okay, it's a wrap.
No, I just feel like
So do they have to do anything special? I mean, I know it's a long way off.
Shots. They have to consistently make shots to stay in that game, and then anything can happen late in the game, bro.
Do Columbus have to do anything different or special to stop Winter Haven?
Bougie do got to guard people, but I don't think Winter Haven has that dominant player that right there that can just go at somebody to go, I'm gonna get you a foul trouble. Like they don't have that guy that can just boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, the Bougie has 4 fouls and it's 6 minutes to go in the third quarter.
I think it takes away something that's successful for Winter Haven, which is JP on the post. Especially if you got 2 6'8s and the 6'11 out there. He can post them, but that shot is gonna be a little bit tougher because now you gotta shoot over that. You know what I'm saying? So, they're gonna have to score. Is what I'm concerned about. Is will they be able to score consistently, or will their length and height give them issues?
I'm very impressed with Winter Haven. I gotta. I'm saying realistically, just watching the team that I saw last year without the 6'11" and watching the Winter Haven team, I just feel like it's gonna take a lot. They said they can't win that game because they got it's Polk County. All you gotta do is believe.
That's it. It's only one game.
Yeah, because
we gotta get there first.
Definitely saw Bartow steal that one from Dillard.
So it can be done. It can be done. Yeah, it can be done. We just gotta.
You talking about playing in Lakeland is considered basically a home game. You have the home crowd behind you.
It can be done.
It can be done.
If they had a true point guard, I definitely would have more confidence in it.
Okay. The reason why I was saying about the pressing because, now I haven't seen Columbus play. I've seen highlights, but them guys that big, are they fast? So if you speeding them up, does that help your chances? That was my rationale there.
If it's my team or Terrence's team, yes, but that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? I would take my chances in trying to speed them up and try to expose their point guard. You know what I'm saying? Which is probably the weakest link of that particular team. But if that's not what you do, so why would you go out there and try to do that then if that's not what you're working on? But my thing is don't get behind in the game and then you got to go out there and spend all that energy trying to get in. If you're going to do it, I would try early. If you don't have success with it early, then try something else.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's all we got for tonight. Once again, we want to say congratulations to both Orange and Blacks, the Lakeland High School Dreadnoughts and the Lakeland Wells High School Highlanders on winning their state championships in that phenomenal facility at Fort Lauderdale. That thing was nice. I was telling I talked to one of the kids' dad. I don't know where they found that. He said, I guess it's the soccer dude that he did that stadium, the Macy or whatever the guy name. I ain't no soccer person, but that was his stadium. So, but in any event, shout out to Lakeland and Lake Wells for representing themselves, the families, the counties, the schools, and winning football championships. Very impressed and proud of you, Coach. I know it's a little special for you because that's your people that won in this Lake Wells. So, congrats to y'all. School is out, so hopefully you all finish strong in the classroom. So when you come back in a couple of weeks, you will be helping your teams to, get ready for the real part. You know, they say that the real season don't start after when you come back after Christmas break. So, Coach, anything you want to say about on the beach or anything you want to say before we jump off?
I did get a message. Mount Verde and the IMG national team was not allowed to compete because the schools from Cali can't play in a tournament if schools are in it that don't compete for a state championship.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's the reason why Mount Verde and the IMG national team are not playing in the bracket play.
That's
per
interesting.
se.
That's interesting. State rules, different state rules. That's okay. Good information. Good information. And I mentioned in the primetime performers, one of the kids from I know we talk about the Zay Moser kid who won probably the top rebounder in the county, but we had the kid from Bartow had 16 points and 22 rebounds. I don't know if y'all got that 22 rebounds in regulation. I think that's like he up there with like Chris Perry and Bradley and the Manning kid. That's kind of a big deal. Is rebounding and we done coming back because for a while we post these stats. We never posted rebounds. Now it seems like we getting more folks getting rebounding stats. Yeah, Jason Williams. We called him out earlier, Coach. I don't know if you was on when we talked about it. I just kind of wanted to highlight that. But rebounding has made a resurgence, or no, as we get ready to close and let everybody get ready for the first week out of school, and playing if you're playing.
Coach, I think it always been there. It's just that people get so caught up in scoring now, because of how the three ball has become a highlight, and things of that nature. But I think it's always been there. The kids that I love watching the play is, high stat guys. Like, everybody talk about LJ scoring, but he fills up the stat sheet in all the other areas too. Isaac is a walking double double. When he walk in the gym, he's a walking double double. You know what I'm saying? The Zay Mosley kid, he has just as many rebounds as he does points most of the time. Like, those are kids that are really making difference, other than scoring. I think it's highly impactful now, and I always notice things like that.
Okay. All right. Well, we are done. I want to say before we get off, also shout out to, and it's not basketball or football related, but shout out to TBS, who, bruh, is the sponsor, and Polk Hoops we affiliated as well through the mentoring part of it. But took out 60 plus some young ladies out to Texas for the break and won the grand champion. So he ain't gonna talk about it because that ain't how he operate. But I'll say it. So shout out to Coach Tuma and TBS and main mentors and that organization before we jump off. So good work, boss, as always. Just want to make sure we give you that. And Coach, you want to say anything about being out there on the beach, your schedule, what it looks like? I know people ain't gonna be able to jump in the car at this point, but at least let them know.
No, we are in Myrtle Beach. What's the name of that tournament called? Beach Ball Classic. We play at 3:00 tomorrow. It's a tournament play, bracket style, so that determines when we play on Tuesday. But we play Martyr Lakes Academy out of Miami at 3:00. Okay. So we just trying to get the kids some exposure, get them outside of Polk County. Not only do we play here, we take them to Atlanta next month. So it's big things coming from this group.
Is it being streamed where people can see it, or no? Or do you?
I don't know, but I found out, and if we do have that information, we'll make sure that we post it on our site.
Okay. All right, guys. We appreciate y'all as always, man. We're gonna jump off for this week. Good luck to everybody that's playing this week in your tournament. Safe travels because people leaving, going out of town.
Appreciate that.
Safe travels to and fro. Wish you the best on the road, getting better, and also hopefully winning games and coming together as teams, be it girls or boys. So till next time, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with us as always. We don't take it for granted, and y'all enjoy the week that is just like you enjoyed the week that was. So till next time, Polk Hoops, we out. Y'all be safe.